Okay, Mr. Kempin is back, and today I want to talk to you about exam stress and anxiety. We all know that exams can be stressful, and feeling anxious about them is completely normal. That should not come as a surprise to any of you. If you're stressed or anxious about an exam, it can often be a genuinely good thing, as it shows that you genuinely care about the outcome. That's actually fantastic. Now, this doesn't mean that if you're not stressed or anxious that you don't care. It could be that you're confident or that you have learned to manage these feelings. That's fine, that's brilliant. Just know that it's okay to be stressed, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to cope with this, and they're not all from me. But first, I recently asked the sixth form class to fill out an anonymous survey on this for me, both to gauge their stress and anxiety and to see how they cope. I also asked them for tips I can give you. Let's see what I found out. I'm going to paraphrase a lot of their answers for obvious reasons, but here we go. So I asked how many of them suffered from stress and anxiety. 71% of them confirmed that they do suffer from exam stress or anxiety. That's not really a surprise. I went on to ask how much they panic about tests and exams. This was on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high. The takeaway from this is that over half of them mark themselves at 7 or 8 out of 10. Even at A level, they still panic. That should be reassuring to a lot of you that it's not just you. They all panic, but even at that level. Now, this year group I spoke to are unique in that they did not sit their exams last year, their GCSEs. So I asked if they thought this had affected their preparedness for their upcoming end of year exams and how they feel about them. Again, 71% of them said yes to it affecting their preparedness. That's the same as the ones that get stressed. I don't know the overlap there, it would be interesting to see, but I can't see that as I did ask for this anonymously. They also told me that they're not sure how to gauge their levels of revision. This is because they didn't find out how effective their revision was last year. They didn't get to sit the exams, so all that revision they've done, they don't know how well they've done it. They said that they're feeling rusty when it comes to exam skills and practices, and even their writing speed for questions and answers. These are skills that you easily forget and lose if you don't regularly use them. So it's worth practicing these, even if it's on your own, not in an actual exam. If you need a quick one, watch my video on custard. I'll put the tag for it up there somewhere, or up there, I don't know which side. Have a watch of that one. They also told me that they're worried about how it's going to go. The occasional person did say they're okay with it all. In general though, they're a bit nervous. Okay, so we know that they get stressed and that most of them are worried about their upcoming exams. So how much preparation are they doing? Well, here's where the data gets a bit interesting, and I'm going to break it down for you a little bit to give some context. The highest person to mark themselves as prepared was 8 out of 10, so no one said that they were 100% prepared for this. A third of them pitched themselves around the middle. Now, if you look at this data, it looks bad. But let's think why they've answered this way. Some will answer low because they honestly haven't started yet. I hope that just by answering this, it will give them the motivation to get started, the realisation that I need to start now. Others will answer low because they're afraid that they're not doing enough, despite how much they're actually doing. This is a very common thing. Hopefully they can take something away from this video and their own advice. How are they preparing? Well, on top of the general comment of doing revision, there were techniques like mind maps, flashcards, revision maps. I do like revision maps, I might do a future video on that one. Repeated note taking and condensing these notes down, using previous and practice exam questions, looking through topic lists to find weak areas to concentrate on, interactive revision sites like Seneca, and even working with other people in your class for some group revision. Q&A is a fantastic way to do it. One of the best ways to revise is by teaching. That's the best way to learn, is to teach it. So if you can find someone in your class or your group that needs help with an area that you're okay on, try and help them and it'll cement your understanding. There's some great techniques here, and each of these will work differently for different students, but it's brilliant to see so many techniques being used. Right, let's bring it back to stress and anxiety. Why did I show you so much about their feelings towards these exams? Well, you're going to be there soon enough if you're not already. This means you can learn a lot from them. What are they doing to combat these feelings of stress and anxiety? There are a lot of different answers here, but they mainly fall into two categories. Firstly, preparedness. Prepare well so you know everything is in order, i.e. don't leave it to the last minute. Secondly, take some time for yourself. Many put down recreational activities like sports and exercise, which is great to help you clear the mind, improve your general health and well-being, as being cooped up in front of revision resources for hours on end can have really negative effects. The main thing I got from all this is that almost all of them indicated they know how to take a break and not to overload themselves. Remember that. If you don't rest between your revision sessions, your brain will become saturated and you actually struggle to learn. Regular breaks helps. Finally, I asked them what advice they could share with you. And I've chosen sort of 10 of the best ones that I could find on that, because there were quite a lot on there that I wanted to share. So, start revision early. That's a brilliant one. Just that in itself. Next, you should always try to relax, even if it might not seem possible. If you worry too much, it will end up affecting your grade. Some of these students are speaking from experience with their own practice exams, mocks, PPEs, end of year tests. They've over panicked some of these, and therefore they're telling you from their experience you can end up as a mess if you don't control it. I'm not saying it's a switch that you can just control, but do some of these things to calm yourself down, be it a bit of sport, relaxation, yoga, meditation if that's your thing. Go kick a ball around a park if you prefer to do that sort of thing, or just take the dog for a walk. Whatever it is that helps calm you. Next one, try not to stress too much. If the exams don't go quite the way you want them to, it's not the end of the world. Everyone is in the same boat. If an exam or topic is hard, it's likely everyone is finding it hard. Make sure you talk to each other and ask questions. Working with your friends or peers can be a great way of making sure you understand topics. Again, you're not alone. Other people are in the same boat as you. So, reach out. Take a break. Don't overwork yourself and try to use effective methods to revise. Don't cram it all in the day before or morning of your exam. Again, cramming doesn't work. It doesn't. Some people swear by it. It actually doesn't work. Don't stress. It's not the be all and end all of life. You still have friends and family and a positive future to look forward to. Again, it's not the end of the world. Okay? Yes, it's brilliant to do well, but everyone has a bad day. It's okay. Use past papers to help you understand how the questions are structured. It's good practice. Using past papers or practice questions is brilliant. It shows you what to expect. You're not going to be shocked when you go into that exam. I would recommend asking your teacher for a good source of these practice questions, because you don't want to just pick up any of the internet. They might not be relevant, because different exam boards structure their questions a little bit differently. Actually revise, don't just read a book. Sitting there reading through text works for some people, not for everyone. Find a revision technique that works for you. You should definitely start preparing note cards as you go through your lessons, so when you have tests coming up, everything is done and prepared. That's a brilliant one, and students I've seen over the years that have revised as they've gone on, they've made their revision resources as the term goes on, as the year goes on. When it comes down to revising for a test, they've got all their resources there, they can already work from them, they're not panicking as to try and make the sources first. Start early, ask your teachers for help, but if there's something you don't understand, get in lots of practice. But equally, don't work so hard that you burn yourself out. It's much more effective to be working at 80% over a prolonged period of time than 100% then getting exhausted. Make sure you take breaks and don't work too late into the evening. I really like that last bit, don't work too late into the evening. Late nights are a burden on you. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're not going to be prepared in the morning. So you only get out what you get in. Well, what should you take away from this? Well, it's okay to get stressed and anxious about exams, that's normal. But revise early, regularly and properly. and take the time to rest and relax in between, and you'll stand a good chance of succeeding. This sounds a lot like the 6 Ps. Don't know where I've heard that before. I hope that some of this helps you, and as you move ever closer to exams, start remembering this, alright? The more you put in, the more you get out. Okay guys, good luck.